What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the OG Sports Show. It's your boy Chuck.
Slow motion.
B.
And we are recording live from SVM Studios in South Tampa. Once again, fellas, it's week 6.
Week 6.
What's good, man? Everybody good? Before we get into anything, dog, can we just acknowledge, since today was, inauguration day, can we acknowledge the fact that Michelle Obama was looking like an early autumn pomegranate wine today?
Pomegranate wine. I mean, she was.
I know she smelled like pink oil moisturizer and baby powder today because she was looking fantastic.
Yes.
Boy.
Yeah, Barack probably had to take one of them little blue pills or something.
What?
Yeah.
Barack need to get 80.
He
man.
better because
He better have ginseng, gas station pills, whatever. Barack better.
Little George Bush been wanting to steal her for the longest. He was back on that again today, I saw. He couldn't wait to see Michelle.
Oh, yeah. Sit me next to Michelle and Barack.
I can't blame him, though. She was fine.
She was. Yeah.
Boy. Well, we got a lot to get into today, don't we?
Yeah.
Hold on.
A lot has happened. And
It has.
What's on your mind, B? Something on your mind before we get to the lick. What's up?
Nah, remember I told you I got to work. So I know when I'm working. 9 straight days, 12 hours.
Hey, man. You got to do what you got to do, bro.
Unlimited overtime. I'm going to get this money.
Word.
Damn.
Take advantage. Take advantage. Everybody ain't able.
Got to get
Starting on Saturday.
G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu
With the Kung Fu.
Well, y'all ready to get into it?
Let's go.
Yeah,
All
let's
right,
do
Slow.
it.
What the league read, bro?
What the league read for week 6. We crowned the 2020 NCAA football champion a couple Monday nights ago.
Yeah.
And it was the Alabama Crimson Tide. Like, it's a big surprise.
Yeah, I mean, it was. Although I didn't pick them to win, I was rolling the dice. Obviously, it didn't pan out, but I mean, it kind of went as I expected it to go. I feel like it probably would have been a little bit closer if Trey Sermon would have been able to play the full game.
Yeah.
It may have been a different ball game. He may have, he would have allowed, Ohio State to be a little bit more balanced, but
They
it was obvious.
lost by
14, maybe.
14.
It was obvious that Steve Sarkisian knew that they didn't have an answer for Devontae Smith, and we finna set whoever y'all got on him on fire these first 2 quarters and just put the game out of reach.
I mean, it wasn't out of reach until when the end of the second half, before halftime.
Yeah, right before halftime, and then it just got extended.
It kind of snowball.
Yeah.
So Ohio State was in it for a while.
Yeah.
They were doing okay.
They actually went back and forth.
They went back and forth, yeah.
For
first good quarter and a half.
It was a game. It was a
Right.
game.
And then, like you said, when Sermon got hurt, that kind of took all the sail out the wind. That took the wind out of the sails of Ohio State.
It definitely hurt.
But yeah, I mean, Alabama was Alabama, and like y'all said, it went how most people expected it to go. They gave it a pretty good game, but Nick Saban got him another one.
Yeah, well, I'll give Nick, his credit. He is the second coach, the second part, the second school to go undefeated and win that championship. The first school it's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think.
Talking about going wire to wire?
No, not wire to wire. Just undefeated national champions. There's another team out of North Florida that did it twice. Yeah, you know who they are. And then Alabama just joined them finally as the second school to win 2 undefeated national championships. So big credit to Nick. I mean, it's hard not to win when you got the best players in the country.
They got a machine. I mean,
A machine.
it's a machine.
And I'm just curious when it's going to stop. Nick Saban's what? He's in his mid-60s, late 60s.
I think he's damn near 70 years old.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while.
No, he might be 70 something. It's going to be a while.
When is it going to stop?
It's going to be a while because right now, the way these kids are now, that's what they want to be a part of. But I give it to Nick Saban because he set the standard at that school. It's about winning the NCAA championship, not the SEC.
Period.
we're gonna win the national championship. We got one. We don't have the funky uniforms. We
Damn
don't
sure
have the
don't.
all blacks.
Them
We don't
motherfuckers
have
is not sexy at all.
No, we're
They
gonna
not
wear
changing
these
them either.
white socks, these black
Them
shoes.
the same shits Bear Bryant them was wearing
Exactly.
back in the day.
And what I hate about the SEC is the fact that, you know, when Alabama wins, you know, everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. The SEC is just different. The SEC is this, SEC is that. The SEC is Alabama and everybody else. Let's just keep it
Everybody
real.
else. Yeah.
Like, if Alabama has an off year, then yeah, LSU will sneak in and win. And, you know, Auburn snuck in a couple years ago, you know, a few years ago and win when Cam was there, or made some chip in you know, 2013 to play against Florida State. But for the most part, it's literally 2 or 3 schools, and the
Right.
rest are bums. Like, Arkansas hasn't been nothing since when?
No.
Tennessee ain't been nothing since Fulmer was coaching, and I
T.
mean,
Martin was back there.
T. Martin was a quarterback. Like, none of those schools have been anything in the last, you know, couple of decades. So it's not, the SEC is not different. Alabama's just different.
It's
Period.
Alabama, and like you said, the SEC West. If you come through there, then you probably gonna win the national championship.
Right.
Because the SEC East
It's a toss up every
is
year.
toss up. It's Georgia or Florida.
That's it.
But even with those two, they haven't been able to get over the hump and win the big game.
No, they're
yet.
not gonna win.
So-
They're not gonna beat the West team.
Like,
Georgia needs an offense. Florida needs a defense.
speaking of Georgia, what's crazy to me is Georgia's included in one of those what they call the blue collar programs. They haven't won since '82. What makes them a blue collar program? How would you put them in the same category with all those others? They haven't won since '82.
They're in Georgia. They're getting all the recruits out of Georgia.
Yeah, but they can't get a coach to get them over the hump. And I looked at it. Mark Richt, you know, they was tired of him and they got rid of him. He literally has the same winning percentage as Kirby does now, after during the same amount of time. So it wasn't Rick, obviously, and Kirby ain't be able to get him over the hump. Who is? And they can't, as long as Nick Saban's at Alabama, everybody else might as well forget it. It's not gonna happen.
I think Alabama may take a little small step backwards with Sarkisian leaving. I don't know what kind of offense is coming in. I forgot who. Did they even
I
hire
saw
a
there were
coordinator
talks
yet?
about they were talking to Bill O'Brien possibly.
Yeah.
Didn't they already hire your boy Doug Marrone to be the
Yeah,
offensive
the
line?
offensive line.
He's just gonna be the line coach. They just need somebody to call the plays. So, but I honestly don't have any reservations about whoever they bring in. It's gonna work because you're still gonna have the best athletes in the country, at least in the South. They're all gonna go there for the most part. So whoever it is,
This kid
I
that's
can go
coming
call
in
the
at
plays.
quarterback, I don't know.
You talking about the kid from California?
Yeah, he's a runner. Unless they're gonna develop something around his strengths, he's not gonna throw it around like Jones did.
You think about it though. Before Jones and before Tua, name another Alabama quarterback that was lighting it up like they were. There wasn't one, and they were still rolling. So to me, quarterback is never going to be the most significant position at University of Alabama. It's just not.
The thing about Alabama is, and what we've seen over the last 10, 12 years, is they're getting the best offensive linemen
Yes,
Period.
in the country.
that is the key.
They're getting the best offensive linemen in the
Because
country.
all of those boys going first
All of
round.
them go pro. First, second round.
Yep.
And they're man-child.
Right.
yes.
They get all of them, and you got to come and sit a good year or two before you even sniff the field, because there's 5 other guys that sat 2 years and did their time, got in the program.
But then you only need 1 year in the spotlight, and
That's it.
And you on Mel Kiper's
But
big
that's
board.
it.
And you playing for the premier
That's the key. So
program.
that's why they can get a Coker from Florida State and still win. They can win with Jalen Hurts, not really putting up numbers in the air offensively. Then you go to Tua and Mac Jones, who are very good passers, and you don't have to run the ball like when you had Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram and everybody else on that squad. So that's the key to that machine. Like, if they start losing and not getting the best offensive lineman in the country, then I think you might see them slow down.
But look at their wide receiver room the last couple of years.
They've become wide receiver U. Like, I know people talk about
Alabama. That
I know
don't
people
sound
talk about
right.
people talk about Clemson because the D Hop and
No.
and them cats came out of there. Yeah, they got some studs to come out of there, but that
since-
room in Alabama.
But
is
since
ridiculous.
Julio Jones, since 2008, 2009, they've
That
been
room
putting
is
them out
stupid,
every
man.
year.
That room is stupid. That
Every
wide
year
receiver
it's
room
always one.
is
Julio
stupid.
Jones, Calvin Ridley. Now your boy
Amari Cooper. Don't
Amari
forget about Amari Cooper.
Jerry Judy, Henry Ruggs,
Ridley.
Waddle
this year. Gonna come out and do it too.
But you know what was funny last year? I thought that Smith was better than them anyway.
Yeah.
I said 6 is the best. The other two fast, they going to the show, but 6 is the better receiver.
6 looked like the more complete receiver to
Yeah.
me. He did. It looked like his hands. I love what's the kid that's in Oakland now?
Henry Ruggs.
I love his route running, his ability. He's a superb athlete. But I felt like 6 had like the best complete game out of all of them. But that just goes to show you like just how good that room is, that all those other cats had 6 kind of in the background, and now he just jumped out of nowhere. Not really out of nowhere, but he kind of, he definitely stepped on the stage this year and did his thing. And I'm proud of him for being the first receiver since, Desmond to win the Heisman, which it was long overdue for another.
He won all the awards.
He won all the awards, man. It
long
was
overdue
the
for somebody
Heisman.
other than the quarterback to finally win
Right.
it, and he definitely deserved it for sure.
And it's not like the quarterbacks didn't put up numbers, because them
Right.
They definitely
Mac
did.
Jones, Kyle Trask, them boys put up numbers.
They did.
I thought for sure that they were going to give one of them awards to Sunshine, but Smith cleared them all.
He missing them games.
He missed
hurt
too
him.
many games due to COVID.
Trust me, they wanted to give it to him, but he missing them games that they couldn't really you can't justify that. Missing those games, and especially what 6 ended up doing for the year, there's no way they could have not given it to him. It'd have been a travesty if they did.
I know we're going to get into it probably later, closer to the draft, but what do you see him in the league? He's going to have to be a guy that they're going to have to move around. He's not a guy that that's going to sit on the perimeter.
I think what's going to hurt him is
he's a small dude.
Yeah, that's what's going to hurt him is his size.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of a faster Marvin Harrison.
That's what everybody's been comparing him to. Yeah.
He reminds me of a faster Marvin Harrison, and Marvin Harrison was everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a little bit skinnier
A
than
little
Marvin.
bit skinnier than Marvin.
Yeah, if he could,
Hope he ain't no killer like Marvin. Excuse me.
don't nobody know nothing about that. if he could have that kind of career, if he can only hope to have that kind of career,
Man, that's Hall of Fame.
Hall of
yeah.
Fame.
But like I said, it's going to be somebody's going to have to move him around because of the fact that he's going to have to take advantage of some of those matchups.
But with that speed, though, I mean,
You think about it. If they put him on the slot against a strong safety or outside linebacker, he's going to eat them alive. So that's where you can utilize him the most. But I'm just worried about the hits he'll take. Like I said, he is a small cat. I know they list him. I don't forget what they list him at. I think he said when he got to Alabama, he was 160. And that was a lie. He was not 160 when he got there. And he might be.
I don't think he 160 now.
Right. He might be 165 now leaving, but he's just a little cat. But that cat, he's tough though.
It's going to be interesting of how the draft slots for teams and needs where he actually falls.
I say if the Jets don't take a quarterback, if they're going to stick with Sam Darnold, they need to take him.
They looking at the tackle from Oregon.
Because you pair Seville, so whatever his name is, with Mekhi Becton.
Yeah.
You got your tackles for.
Yeah,
10
but I mean,
years.
who is Darnold going to throw to?
I mean, you got all kind of receivers coming out.
Yeah, but I mean, the best though. You pass up the best for a tackle.
But you don't take a receiver at 2, though.
No, in most cases, no, you don't. But
That's high.
when you desperate, as desperate as the Jets are for any kind of offensive power,
So what did we just talk about with the key to Alabama's success? The offensive line, good teams with good to great offensive lines win consistently.
I agree.
So, and at that number 2 slot, that's offensive line type money.
I agree, but when I think about the Jets, they've got to put points on the board. You know what I'm saying? Points on the board, and then once we get past COVID, butts in the seats.
That's why they're gonna take a quarterback.
They should. I personally think we'll get into it. I think they should trade for
Don't say.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Man, don't send this.
I mean, they one of the few teams that got the draft capital to get him.
That's what I mean.
I wouldn't want to go up there.
I mean, Adam Gates ain't there anymore, man. They got a new cat in there that everybody loves.
But the ridicule and the pressure of New York.
It'd be a lot, but I mean,
So we talking about it. We might as well get into it. So
well, we can't get into it. Yeah, we got to get into the other. We're talking about the rest of the games, right? We got to recap the rest of them, right?
Oh, okay.
Or would you like I want to jump into? Let's get out a quick recap in for these other games, and then we'll get into it.
So congratulations to Alabama.
Alabama.
I mean, not
We'll
a
see
shocker.
next
See
year.
you next
You'll
year.
probably be in the same spot.
You might lose one game next year. And
To who? To themselves in the red and white game.
They'll lose one game and then come back and still
then
win
come
it
back
all.
and make the playoffs as the 4th seed.
Well, we came off the NFL playoffs. No shocks. Just a little bit scratch your head that you thought teams would probably play a little better, but there were no really upsets. Well, I guess
yeah.
a lot of the Buccaneers game, some people consider upset. I don't consider upset,
Not after watching it,
but pretty much it went like it should go, right?
pretty much.
Yeah,
I think
pretty
the
much.
biggest takeaway for me was probably the Buffalo and Baltimore
game.
because it seemed like Baltimore had pretty much the answer for Buffalo's offense. You know what I'm saying? With the exception of, without the pick six, they only scored 10 points.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So Baltimore basically gave now the Chiefs the blueprint to kind of contain their offense. It's just a shame that Lamar and the boys couldn't get enough going offensively for Baltimore to win that game. That was a big takeaway for me. And then also how the Chiefs are going to respond to Mahomes, being shook up a little bit. And is he going to be 100% for this one coming up? He's definitely going to play.
He practiced today.
Yeah, he practiced full today.
Oh, yeah.
I believe if he probably could have came back in that game. And what it was weird though was the reason why they put him in the concussion protocol, because they said when the guy grabbed him, he choked him.
Yeah.
And he kind of blanked out from the choke.
Yeah, because he looked, as you saw when they went to pick him up, he stumbled a little
Yeah.
bit when they went to pick him up. And it took me by surprise. I'm like, he didn't get hit in the head. I was like, what happened?
Right.
Yeah, because they were rolling up until that point. Like, it was going to be a blowout up until that point. So I think it'll still be a good game with them in Buffalo. We'll get to the pick of that later, but that kind of stood out for me was what happened with him. To me, the other games on the NFC side kind of went the way I expected them to go for the most part. Even though I did pick the Saints to beat the Bucks, once I saw Drew Brees out there shot putting that thing around the field and couldn't really get it, no more than 10, 12 yards on the field, I'm like, there's no way they're going to win this game. There was no way, unless Tom Brady throws it away, unless he throws a couple of pick sixes or something like that, there's no way that the Saints were going to win that game, not with the way Drew Brees was looking. And Green Bay was just Green Bay. I mean, they just looked too good. They looked like a machine out there.
Damn Devontae Adams, man.
That dude. What was crazy to me is that I saw that they used him similar to the way Alabama used Six against Ohio State, where they ran him all over the place and tried to make Jalen chase him. And you can only run so much, especially when he's, in motion halfway across the field. There's no way that Jalen was trying to get around all the other cats to stay with him. And they used it to their advantage. And I don't see the Bucks having an answer for him either, to be quite honest. But it'll be interesting to kind of see how it plays out.
Well, Green Bay will challenge the Bucks downfield.
Oh yeah,
they won't be. If you look at the game, the Saints game, the Saints defense actually played the Bucks how they want to play them. They played the two deep zone.
Yeah.
They took away the big throws.
Yeah.
Mike Evans caught that one ball,
and that was it.
And we all knew that.
Yeah.
I don't know what what the secret is.
He got it,
but
he got it.
He caught a. He had what he had like he had
one catch
for the one touchdown.
Touchdown. That was
That's it.
He shut everything else down.
Everything else down.
I think I'd say it's more mental than anything else with him. He is in.
He said something
in his head
because every time Mike Evans was trying to go at him, I don't know what he's saying.
They had to separate him again. They were ready to fight again because Mike Evans, he's in his head.
He's in his head. Yeah. Minus the turnovers, it's a different game.
Yeah.
Because if you notice, the Bucks, that's where they scored all their points.
They scored 17 points off turnovers, I think. So,
I mean, for me as a Bucks fan, and I'm not a fanatic, so I can be objective. And when they play bad, they play bad, and when they play, the defense, and this is the form, and this is why I said, why I posed a question last episode is if they get past the Saints, what do you think their chances of making the Super Bowl? And that's because we got playoff Lenny. Leonard Fournette is running the ball.
he didn't ball.
Ronald Jones is running the ball.
Yeah.
The defense took away. The only thing Drew Brees could do was the short passes and dink and dunk.
Yeah.
So we said Todd Bowles had to be aggressive. He couldn't sit back in a zone and let Drew Brees hit a 5-yard out. hit a comeback route in the middle of the field, hit a cross in the middle of the field. They took the short shit away, made Drew Brees challenge him deep, and it held up.
Right.
And they got turnovers. And when getting those turnovers, they didn't just turn them into field goals.
No, they
they
cut them
got
to
touchdowns.
6.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's I guess for me as looking back, the difference between Jameis and Tom Brady is Brady's not gonna make that mistake when it comes time to. He's not gonna make the crucial mistake in a crucial time.
Brady's not going to force anything.
He's not gonna force anything. He's gonna take what you're gonna give him,
Yeah.
and that's it.
Right.
He may take one or two shots, but that's about it. But for the most part, whatever you give Brady, that's what he's gonna take.
I give it to him. He is smart. He's at this stage where he, like I say, he's 43 years old.
He's seen
He
everything.
knows what he's capable of doing and what he's not capable of doing anymore.
Right.
So he's not trying to make those Brett Favre throws. You know what I'm saying? That Jameis is still, thinking I can still make. You know what I'm saying? So I'll give him that for sure. But I think it's going to be a tough game for them to go up to Green Bay. Like I said, I don't think the Bucs have an answer for Devontae at all. They're going to have to depend upon putting pressure on Aaron Rodgers and getting him off of his square.
But he can run. He can.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a runner.
But he can
But he's
run.
mobile in
He
the
can
pocket.
make moves
Yeah.
to get the ball off to where he wants to.
What I want to see and what I think is going to be a telling part of that game is whoever is able to run the ball successfully and whoever can stop the run. Because if Tampa Bay can go up there and shut Green Bay down, shut down Aaron Jones and company down in the run, and force Aaron Rodgers to have to beat you throwing the ball by himself in that weather, the Bucs have a very good chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
Because like we just said, Tom Brady's not going to make too many mistakes. He's not.
And I think Green Bay's defense is not as good as the Saints.
It's not as good as the Saints defense. They're no slouches now.
No, they
They have a very good secondary.
And they got some.
They
pass
got
rush.
some decent linebackers, but where I think I can't even say lack in the middle. They have a good defense because
They got some pass
They
rush.
got that They got that man child in the middle. Kenny Clark is a beast, man.
Yeah.
They got a Pro Bowler on one end, and the other end got snubbed as a Pro Bowler.
It's a good defense. I don't think they're not as good as the Saints defense, but it is
As a whole,
it's a very good defense. So
I think the Saints coordinator should get more credit for how good the Saints defense is. They have great position players, but I think their play calling on defense is what kind of sets them apart from Green Bay.
But anytime when you got a secondary like theirs,
You can do what you want.
you can do what you want.
Yeah.
When you can tell, take the number one receiver away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just like how the Bucs offensive line kind of held that pass rush.
Yeah,
in
they
check.
did. They
They've
did.
done a lot better.
Because Cam Jordan, you didn't hear his
You
name.
hear nothing. You hear nothing.
nothing.
Outside of like once or twice when they got back there and Brady had to get rid of it quick, or I think it took like 2 sacks or something like that.
Yeah.
They held up, and that damn Ryan Jensen, man, he be ready to fight every week.
I don't.
He has
like
mental
him,
issues,
dog.
man. He an anger
He
issue.
needs to be fought, dog. Like, there's no way I'm gonna let a man with a red ponytail push me around like that and be
He
in my.
don't care.
We gotta fight.
You've played with them type of dudes.
I know, and I
Yeah.
still don't like him to this day. We gotta fight, though. Every time I see him, I'm like, man, why ain't nobody tried him yet? I know he's big, but golly.
Do we think? What are you guys' thoughts about Lamar Jackson?
I think Lamar can be an above average quarterback. I'm not going to say that he can be great, even though he won the MVP. I'm not going to say he can be great just yet. I think with the right coordinator,
Because Greg Roman ain't it.
no, with the right talent around him, because he don't really have a whole lot of options right now on the outside. I mean, Holloway Brown is decent, but he needs more than that.
And he got Andrews, the tight end.
Right. Lamar, he has to get him a good coordinator, and he got to stay with him his whole career. Because I think if they do him like they did James, for instance, where he got
He can't.
3 and 4 different coordinators, it's never gonna work out. He's got to find somebody that's gonna say, okay, we're gonna utilize his talent to the best of our ability, and take advantage of what he can do, and not worry about what he can't do so much.
He's gonna have to work on his just passing skills.
I think it's more of because we've seen Lamar since he was at Louisville, and I'm pretty sure I'm sure we could pick up some. We can pull up some old high school highlights, and he probably was slaying that thing around too.
He was.
I think it's more of, and they've kind of been chirping at it this season as far as like the offensive play calling is predictable, and everybody's getting on Greg Roman, and they're saying Greg Roman kind of did the same thing with Kaepernick, like had them 2 years where Cap took off and was really putting the numbers up, and then it got stale and Cap kind of fell off. I think Greg Roman it's time for him to go, and I think that's probably one of the changes that they are going to make because of that chirping at early in the season, as far as the play calling becoming more predictable. But like you said too, they gotta get another receiver.
Yeah,
they got the running backs. They got Dobbins. They got the boy Gus. What's his last name? Gus. They got Gus Edwards. They got Dobbins.
I think Mark Ingram's done.
They released him already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They released him and Robert Griffin.
I saw when he did not play. Coach's decision. Like, okay,
they released him and Robert Griffin.
Yeah.
So them gone. So Lamar has to continue to get better as a passer because he got that playoff monkey off his back. So he has to continue to get better as a passer, and the team they have to keep putting more around him. And I think he'll be all right, man. It's just.
I think part of the big part, just is my observation of his passing is that, to use a baseball reference, Lamar has a fastball, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like he's got to be able to learn some touch.
When he put the touch on the ball,
right.
when to gun it.
Right. Because I think it's due to his release. And to be honest with you, he reminds me a lot. I know this is a pretty easy comparison, but he reminds you a lot of Vic when he was first. His first few years in the league, all he had was that fastball because he knew how to sling it. Mm-hmm. Now, when he got under Andy Reid in Philadelphia, you saw Vic became a more complete quarterback. I think if he can get lucky enough to get somebody, maybe like a Pep Hamilton, to really groom him as a quarterback, then he could possibly be great. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to take some time. People are already talking about this kid's ceiling. He's only 24 years old. He's just turned 24. Like, Tom Brady's 43. Like, this kid got plenty of time to, to establish himself as a good quarterback. And people just need to pump their brakes and calm down and stop. I've saw talks about should Baltimore look for another quarterback.
For what?
He's 24 years old. He just won MVP last year. Relax.
And he just won a playoff game.
Relax.
And still putting up offensive numbers.
People, the impatience when it comes to young quarterbacks in the last couple of years is really just baffling to me. Like, I don't understand it. Like Tua, they already talking about getting rid of Tua, and
after 1 year,
and
all that's caused Deshaun Watson.
It's just crazy.
But yeah, man, it's championship week is gonna be a good one, definitely. And I definitely want to see how the Bills do when they go to Kansas City.
Should be
see
a
how
good
they handle that. Should be a good one.
When you're watching Kansas City, and like I say, I always watch it because being an offensive coach for so long, I just watch the concepts of their offense. I don't see how you stop it.
When it's rolling, I don't see it either. And usually it's rolling without much of a running game.
No, they don't need it.
No. I mean, and think about it. They didn't even have Sammy Watkins last week. How do you stop it? Yeah. Like, you can't. You can if you double Tyreek Hill, Kelsey's gonna murder you in the middle.
And they don't allow you to double him because
you can't.
They move him. They'll line him at running back. They'll throw him in the slot. He's motioning, and what they do. And I'm looking at the defenses. The most defenses they're facing are playing cloud coverage because of the fear of the cheetah running past.
Being beat
and
over
all
top.
He does is just run them off and boom, hit the middle of the zone.
He runs across that cloud every time, and you got some fool trying to chase him. You're never gonna run.
And then and Kelsey's in the back door.
Yeah,
I'm wide open,
waiting to see. Okay, two of y'all gonna go over there. Kelsey, I'm right here. Like there's nothing you can do. That's why I say. It's all as great as Buffalo has looked. It's gonna be tough for them to go up there and beat them because they're gonna have to score. They got to score.
They got to score 30 plus
at the very least, to be in the game. And I think if they score 30, the Chiefs gonna score 50. Like it's gonna be. I hope it's a better game than what it may turn out to be. But I'm excited to watch it to kind of see how it happens. Like I said, because I've been I've been critical of Buffalo and the quarterback all year, but I'm a believer in he does what he needs to do to keep the team rolling. But I just don't know if he got enough, if they got enough to go to Kansas City and beat the Chiefs.
The Chiefs' Achilles heel is their defense.
Their defense.
It's horrible.
But lately they've been playing just good enough.
Yeah.
If you're Andy Reid, you can tell your defense just can you hold them to 20
At least.
What defense in it? What philosophy like in the NFL? You say can you hold them to 20?
Hold them to 20. No, 3 touchdowns. No more than that. We'll do the rest.
We'll do the rest.
But the games will be interesting, man. I'm excited to watch them. We'll see how it goes. So, what else have we got on the NFL?
We got a lot of
this
coaches vacancies that have not been filled
There's 2 left.
by people of color, coaches of color.
Have not.
We got one technically in New York. He's Muslim.
Okay.
He counts. He's a
Yeah,
person
he
of color.
counts. He counts.
But specifically, if we want to specifically get into it, we want to talk about black coaches. Okay. And I this is a sore subject for me because I just been despised by the NFL and their attempt to try to give us a chance, for as long as I can remember. And for me, it just does. This year specifically, it doesn't make any sense. A lot of times their excuse is, oh, well, there's not enough black coordinators in the pipeline. Leslie Frazier's been a defensive coordinator for how long? Ken Norton's been defensive coordinator for how long? Todd Bowles still defensive coordinator. We go to the offensive side. Now we got Byron Leftwich. Eric Bieniemy obviously has been a coordinator for forever. Pep Hamilton. Go back and ask Andrew Luck, who was significant in his development, not just at Stanford, but when he got to Indianapolis, and then ask Abear in San Diego this year, how much of an impact did Pep Hamilton have on his year this year? So there's no excuses. Like, they're out there. Another one, Raheem Morris. Raheem with head coaching experience.
2 times. Two interim stints.
Right. When the Bucks, it wasn't even interim. He was the head coach. So what's the excuse now? Like, it to me, it doesn't make any sense. But when we have all these black coordinators in the pipeline ready to be hired, but yet you go hire a special teams coach for the Giants.
Tight ends.
You go hire a quarterback coach for Cincinnati, and not Cincinnati, but the quarterback coach is in Cleveland now. He was a quarterback coach, and now he's a head coach. It just doesn't make any sense to me, and there's really no excuse for it anymore. And it's just sad when, like I said, we got a league of 70% black, but we have no representation, in the front office or on the head man on the sideline. So I don't get it. I don't get it.
I mean, it's ownership. You got one minority owner. The rest of them all white men. There's the reasoning right there. Somebody has to be willing to. Somebody other than the Rooneys have to be willing to take that step and take that leap of, we're gonna hire you and stick with you. Right. Because to me, Anthony Lynn got a raw deal.
Did he ever?
Yeah.
You give him. He got a raw deal. Like he has a rookie quarterback. Just took him to the playoffs last year, right?
Not just a rookie quarterback, but he also lost arguably his best defensive player.
And so he's out as a coach for what? What reason?
Don't make any sense.
And firing head, I never, like we all coaches, and I always say, firing the coach is not the answer all the time.
No.
Especially in the NFL. Well, really at no level, maybe at little league, but in college, the college coach has to recruit his people to at least 3 to 4 years, 5 years.
At the very least.
NFL, you got to bring your philosophy, what you want to do in. What they did to Steve Wilkes in Arizona was crazy.
Horrible.
1 year?
Horrible.
1 year?
Horrible. And you'll probably never get another chance.
No.
You have to be, as a black coach, you have to be exceptional to keep your job. Look at Jim Caldwell.
Yes.
Since Detroit let him go, Detroit ain't been shit. And this man took him to the playoffs, had a above 500 record, but they let him go.
You got to be Mike Tomlin. You got to win 2 Super Bowls.
You got to be Mike Tomlin.
And, well, just
Not
like
even Mike
B.
Tomlin. Like Mike Tomlin, they calling for Mike Tomlin. They're probably up there. Maybe not, because I got a guy that worked, one of my coworkers. He's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. He was like, they're not talking about Tomlin because everybody up there knows that's the Steelers don't fire coaches.
Right.
Right.
They don't fire coaches.
Right.
It's like B said, the Rooneys have a standard there.
Right.
you
That's
know?
the standard.
You know, even if Mike Tomlin did get fired, he can't say, man, they shafted
I didn't
me.
get a chance.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
They gave you
You got all opportunities.
all opportunities.
But that's like you said, that's the way it should be. Like coaches need time to establish the certain environment that they want for their squad.
especially in college. Like I think
Right.
any college that doesn't sign a 5-year deal is out of their mind.
You're wasting time.
Right.
You give a coach a 3-year deal in college. That's a waste of time
waste of
because
time.
you're gonna give him 3 years to coach somebody else's players that
Right.
they recruited. By the time his gets there, you're gonna fire him and find somebody else, and then you got to start that process all over again.
And that's why, like, I never understood, like, as Florida State fans, why people are talking about fire Norvell. Mike Norvell's not going anywhere.
No.
You fire Mike Norvell, and we'll be horrible for the next 10 years.
Next 10 years.
Exactly, because who's
Horrible.
going to step in?
Who's going to step in?
Right.
And as you see, as our team, as he's doing, all those players are weeding themselves out. Mm-hmm. And he's getting the players that.
They said 43 out of the 76 players he inherited are gone.
Yeah, they said that he's turned it over by I think 60% of the roster he's already turned over since he's come on. He's turned over 60%.
And it's a COVID-ridden year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now you give them a how to deal with the pandemic unless they shut everything down again.
Right. Hopefully give him one full year.
One full year, that's and you see what you do. But like I just like that always baffles me. Like, Gase got what 3-4 years?
Yeah.
And he's gonna get another job.
He's gonna get another job. Horrible.
Yeah.
Who else? Bill O'Brien got full control of personnel,
Everything.
everything.
And he's gonna get another job.
He'll get another job.
Yeah. But Steve Wilkes, he may be a position coach
Yeah, that's what he is now.
forever. You know what I'm saying? Jim Caldwell, have we seen him? He ain't been back in the league.
No, he got fired as a head. I think Jim Caldwell doesn't want to be. I don't think he wants to be back in. I don't know.
Well, no, he actually interviewed for one of those jobs. But
It's just sad, man, because like you said, you know, us as black men, you want to tell your kids and your sons, and all of us have sons, that you can do anything. You know what I'm saying? You put your mind to, work hard. You know, you have all opportunities in the world, but that's just not true. Unfortunately, it's not, because
your ceiling might be a position coach in the NFL.
it might be, and that's sad. And you know, there's been a lot of, you know, thinking about, you know, just what, you know, today, you know, what I'm saying we have, you know, the first black woman vice president in the country. You know, again, we get to see Barack and Michelle. And you think, man, I'm glad I'll be able to see that in my lifetime. But I don't think we'll see a NFL where there's at least half of the head coaches are black in our lifetime. We're not gonna see that.
you saw a black president before you saw a black head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think we'll ever see that.
Oh no, not what Jerry Jones.
Even if
is
Jerry
doing.
dies, his son gonna take over.
Yeah,
We still won't see.
No, and I think that's the major issue. Is having that black face of the head of the face of your organization.
People don't want.
A lot of people have problems with that.
They can't do it. They can't do it.
You know.
It's hard for them, and I don't think it's more so their fans that the owners are worried about than themselves. To be honest with you.
It's the people that hold stockholders.
Yeah.
And
no, it is the fans, because fans, those tickets. I mean, you think about like Dallas, they still buying tickets to go to that stadium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go.
So that's a significant part of the revenue. Like, look at Marvin Lewis in Cincinnati. Maybe Cincinnati really wanted to sell them tickets. We can agree that Marvin Lewis got way more rope than he should have.
Yeah.
He did.
With 10 years,
10 plus.
10 plus years. Okay, like when he got fired, we can't.
Yeah.
What you gonna say?
You can't say nothing.
You can't say nothing. Like,
But we can say something about, like, say, Raheem Morris not getting the head job in Atlanta after he made them respectable the last few
at
weeks.
the interim, that's why I have a hard time seeing an interim coach get a job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
in most cases.
Because you're taking over a staff that's not yours.
That's
Right,
not yours.
but still at the same time, you would have thought that the way he handled that situation, someone else would have been like, you know what, He did a great job of holding that mess together after they fired their head coach. Let's give him another opportunity.
He's gonna have to go, and I think where is he going?
Jacksonville
Jacksonville
to be a defensive coordinator.
Be defensive coordinator. So he's gonna have to go to Jacksonville, put a spectacular defense on the field for at least 1 year, maybe 2, and then I think But the sad thing is he may not still get his shot.
He may not still get his shot.
But you know what's crazy though is that he got to go to Jacksonville to be a defensive coordinator for a coach who quit on a team in Florida, went to Ohio State, and
quit again.
Helped to cover up one of his coaches beating his wife. He took a break and was on TV for a couple of years, and now he's got another opportunity. You feel what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. Raheem slate's clean. He's done a great job where he's been, but now he got to go work for another man who basically had to be forced out of his last job because he helped one of his coaches cover up beating his wife. But he got a head job. You feel what I'm saying? That's the stuff that we have to deal with. That's frustrating to me because, you know, we get, like you talk about Steve Wilkes and Anthony Lynn. Those are model men. Like those are the men you want your sons to look up to and say, you know, that's the person I want to be like. You know what I'm saying? Especially Anthony Lynn. I watched, you know, video of him and his wife going to Africa and helping to build schools and to get fresh water in certain parts of the country and part of the continent that didn't have it. That's the man that you want. That's a man that you want to model yourself after. He gets fired and he may not get another opportunity. But this cat that helped another coach cover up beating his wife, he take a couple years off and he gets another opportunity just like that.
And they don't bring it up.
No, we're not even talking about it no more. Like it never even happened. But he got a job though. You know what I'm saying? We can't have those type of shortcomings and still get jobs.
No.
And that's what's frustrating to me.
And you can't turn down a job.
No.
Whatever job they offer you,
you better take it.
You better take it.
And it's a good transition for us to. I know we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson and his situation because it's very similar to the black quarterbacks, you know, plight in the NFL as well because they got to be model citizens. They got to be absolutely perfect. They got to go above and beyond. They got to be twice as good as their white counterparts, or they're tossed to the side or moved to receiver or whatever. So it's just crazy to me. It's disappointing, and you know, it just. I guess at this point it is what it is. What can we do?
Deshaun Watson, like you segue to, wants out of Houston.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame him either.
Big shout out to his agent for getting the contract set up the way that he did because he holds all the leverage. You can't trade me because I have a no trade clause, but I want to be traded, and you're gonna trade me where I want to go. He can veto any trades anywhere else. They got to trade him where he wants to go. And that's what I love.
Yeah, I think the thing with him is that cap number for one, and there's only a few teams that has the assets to acquire him, the Jets and the Dolphins. They have the draft capital because Deshaun Watson is going to demand multiple first round picks.
Right,
absolutely,
multiple first round picks,
and possibly a star or two. Like some of the Jets gonna have to give up somebody that they hold,
they ain't got nobody
as well
else,
as the Dolphins.
They ain't got nobody to give up. The Dolphins may have more than that, but the Jets ain't got nobody else to give up.
Yeah.
So, I as much as I want to see the young man go and go somewhere else and shine, I think he's stuck in Texas, man.
I don't think so, bro. I think he can. I think he because, like I said, he holds all the leverage. He can not play, and that's absolutely what he should do. He should watch what happened with Dak Prescott and say, you know what, I'm not going out there until they give me what I want. And if what I want is a trade, I'm not going out there until I get it.
He's already got his.
Well, he under deal,
He's
though.
on a deal, though.
He's under a deal, but if he says I'm not playing, what are they gonna do? They can fine him.
Yeah,
they can get some of that money back.
So what? I'm sitting on how much anyway? I don't need that money. Trust me, y'all are gonna need me sooner than I'm gonna need you because I don't need this money. So if I sit out week 1, week 2, week 3, who you gonna play with? You're going to have to do something. Either you're going to keep finding me or you're going to trade me, one of the two. Because I'm not coming until you do. And if I'm his agent, that's what I'm advising him to do. Because you saw what happened to Dak Prescott. He you know, went along with the organization in good faith, signed that tender, and now where is he at? Deshaun holds all the leverage. He's almost like James Harden. James Harden's like, I'm going to show up fat. I ain't playing. Y'all better get me out of here.
Bro, how you lose 20 pounds? 30 pounds in like 2 days, man.
Get me out of here, or I'm gonna look like Professor Clump out here in
The
another
funny
week.
shit I seen when they say James Harden got to New York and took the fat suit off.
Exactly. He went from Professor Clump to Buddy Love when he got to
Buddy
Brooklyn.
Love.
But if I'm Deshaun Watson, that's what I do. I'm gonna sit out here for as long as I can until y'all figure out what y'all want to do.
I just
when y'all come back
don't want him to go to Jets.
Man, the Jets could be a good situation. We don't know. My man, your boy from San Francisco could turn that thing around. The Jets could be pumping and jumping in another couple years. You never know.
Speaking of San Francisco, I heard a lot of people was thinking he was trying to angle to go there. Now,
Yeah,
I think if he went there,
they talking about him going there because of Shanahan and what he could do for him.
Yes.
What he can do offensively with him. But the problem is San Francisco don't have, like you said, they don't have the draft capital. They'd have to give up players to get him. And I think if they give up players, then
he won't have nobody.
Right, he won't have nobody.
And that Garoppolo contract is they're gonna have to pay Jimmy. Jimmy G gonna have to get paid.
Put Jimmy in the trade. Send Jimmy. We'll take Jimmy. And
I don't
y'all
think Houston would want Jimmy.
Man,
Houston's. I think they're now. If they trade Deshaun Watson, it's for a full rebuild.
The smart thing for them to do, like you said, is put all their chips on the table for the Jets. Say, Jets, give us the number 2 pick. We'll give y'all Deshaun.
The Jets got 2 picks.
Right. That's why they give us the number 2
Miami
pick.
has 3, right?
Miami picks
They've got 3 and they've got 2 next year.
Miami picks number 3, right? 3 overall. I think Jets are 2 overall and the Miami's 3rd or 4th, something like that.
Yeah, because they have Houston's pick.
Right. So if I'm the Jets, if we're not gonna go with Sam Darnold, I'll give you Sam Darnold and a number 2 pick for Deshaun. And then that gives Houston an opportunity to say, okay, we either go with Sam Darnold or we're gonna pick Justin Fields at number 2 and keep on rolling.
Them fans were full revolt because that means you're gonna have to trade J.J. Watt because he ain't gonna want to be there.
He already don't want
He already
He
don't
already
wanna
be there. So, yeah, man, it's one of those things where you love to see the power play that Deshaun Watson is kind of moving, but then you get scared like, dude. You when you look at everything, you only have a few options, a few places where you can go unless Jacksonville's ready to trade this number 1 overall pick. Which, in my opinion, from Jacksonville, I trade that pick.
They're not, though.
They're not. They're Trevor Lawrence, but you got a sure thing in Deshaun Watson.
Right.
Over
On a
unknown
young team.
on a young team over unknown.
And they got tons of cap space.
Tons of cap space. So
in Florida, no state tax.
I think it's gonna come down between either Jets or Miami because they got the most to offer. I think it's gonna come out between those 2.
Miami gonna trade Tua.
I think they'll do it. I would.
Yeah, Houston should take Tua. He's still young.
Yeah, I'd send him. It's gonna come down to those 2. I think that's my opinion. It'll come out of those 2. And if I'm Deshaun, I'm gonna hold out to see who gives me the best sales pitch. I'm gonna tell him that's where I want to go.
He can come to the Bucks. Take over for Brady.
Wishful thinking.
The Bucks they had to trade away that whole offense.
If I could get rid of them. Get rid of them. All of them.
And that'll be wrap up what the lick read for week 6.
And this time, it is now the session. I get this shit mixed up every time. It is now time for our music section of the show.
Segment.
And segment, section, same fucking thing. It is What You On. This week, we're going to start off with Slow. What you on this week, brother?
All right. You know me. Dug in the crates. You know, all of these albums and everything are special to us in a certain kind of way.
Right.
This album this week, the album came out in 88, but I'm going to admit that I didn't really get on and pay attention to it until 89 after I graduated high school, went into the military. And that is It Takes a Nation of Million to Hold Us Back by Public Enemy. I
got some memories about that album too, man.
That album.
I was pretty militant when that came out.
That was my problem. I was in the military.
Yeah.
And that album got me in trouble so much.
I was in the 9th grade. I was militant as hell.
Yeah, you know, because I remember the first single was Night of Living Basshead. So it was
man,
nice, you know. But I didn't really get into it until getting into the military, And, you know, back then we had Walkmans. You youngsters don't know what that is. But you sitting that night in your bunk, you listen to the Walkman, and I paid attention to the Black Steel Hour Chaos. The first lyric when he says, I got a letter from the government the other day. I opened and read it and said it was suckers. They wanted me for the army or whatever.
Picture me giving a damn. I said never.
And I was like, I'm in the army. They got me.
They got me.
And see, my daddy was still in the army when that came out. So, bro, I was at Webb Junior High School in 9th grade. But I had my Public Enemy T-shirt on, and it was kind of old, and I had watched it a million times, so it was even crooked and everything. Like the seam was all the way over to the front. I didn't give a damn. I tried to wear it at least once a week.
Once a week. I got in trouble, man, because I started putting up when I got to Korea, and I'm straight militant. I'm in like what? I'm blacker than black. And I started putting up quotes from Chuck D on the door. I had the Public Enemy posters. They tell me to take them down.
Bruh, I used to sit in class in the 9th grade, and I would be rhyming with Chuck D in my head and just writing out little quotes on my little folders and stuff. And I never forget this girl. I wanted to talk to at the time. I ain't gonna say her name. She's still around. She saw my notebook one time. She was like, "What are you writing?" Because it was just like, "Black is black, always on track." You know what I'm saying? I'm just writing little shit like that. And she was like, "What are you on, Chuck?" But man, that was me and my older brother. God bless his dead, no longer with us. That was his Public Enemy was his favorite group.
Yeah.
I remember he had a bomber jacket, and somehow he had got like a Public Enemy patch. He sold it on the bomber jacket.
On there.
Couldn't tell him nothing, but
that was a dope album. It was one of the most, not one of, probably the unique rap group of all time. I mean, it was built up of a security force, a DJ that doesn't speak.
don't even talk.
You had Flavor Flav,
Like the Joker.
was the Joker, and Chuck D is the straight man. It was a whole dynamic in one, and we'll never see that again.
No.
You know, because unfortunately, Flavor got on Bad Times, and then he became the buffoon of the industry and everything. And
I think they trying to, you know what I'm saying, they were able to get together recently and kind of patch things up, him and Chuck, so everything is cool. And I think they re-released a couple of songs. I know they redid Fight the Power recently.
Right.
I think Rhapsody is on it, and a couple of other folks is on it. So it was good to see that, man.
But that's me.
Public Enemy. All right. I really wasn't. Because I like music, I listened to them, but I really wasn't heavy into them. But I guess because I was using 9th grade.
You
I was in 7th grade.
Yeah.
So I really wasn't,
It'd been kind of weird.
Hammer pants.
It'd been kind of weird for you to be a 7th grader.
Hammer.
You being a 7th grader listening to Chuck D would have been, that would have threw people off. I already threw them off enough.
Yeah. What you got this week?
Me, the album I'm thinking about is around that same time that Takes the Nation of Millions came out. Pretty similar situation. I would think my dad was still in the military this time. From like 9 to 12, we had lived in Germany, and getting music for us was kind of hard over there. Lived on a military base. You only get so much every week. We get the top 10.
Staying at the PX.
We get the top 10 albums, and that's it. We get nothing else. But I never forget when B and Rakim Paid in Full came out.
Well, yes, sir.
That's what introduced me really to lyricism, because before that, it was, we had Curtis Blow, we had LL and stuff like that, but Rakim was the first one that really made you sit down
Understand
and
what
did
he
you
was
hear what
talking
he just
about?
said?
Right.
Like, I mean, even to this day, I think a lot of his stuff still holds up. You know what I'm saying?
He's
Like,
still the God MC. I was just having the conversation with my nephew the other day. He's still the God MC.
Oh, yeah.
You youngsters don't know, but you put Rakim in that cipher.
oh man,
He gonna tell you.
He gonna eat somebody alive,
Yeah.
man. That Paid in Full, man. That beat, I was listening to it on the way up here just to refresh my memory. And when that beat rolls in, and
I got a
he get on this-
question.
As serious as cancer. Who can keep the average dancer hyper as a heart attack? Nobody's smiling. Man, when he got that played in full and said,
Thinking of a master plan.
it ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands, so I dig into my pocket, all my money is spent, so I go deeper, I'm still coming up with Lynn. Man, it like I said, his stuff, his lyrics can still hold water today, and I put him up against anybody, but that album, I never forget, because me and my homeboy, when we was in Germany, we used to have a little youth activities center. Everybody, all the American kids would go to, and we had, that was where we played our sports and stuff. But they would have talent shows and stuff too. So me and my homeboy did Paid in Full. And we argued for a week over who's gonna be Rakim and who's gonna be Eric B.
Whoever's Eric B.
I lost.
Standing up.
Let me tell you something. I was the best damn DJ that you ever seen up there because I lost the argument to be Rakim, so I had to be Eric B. But let me tell you something. When he got to the end and Eric B, when he turned it over to Eric B to get his cutting in, he couldn't tell me nothing. They remembered me up there.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, that Paid in Full, Eric B. Rakim, that was the one.
I still think though, even that's a dope album. But that second album with Microphone Fiend, Microphone Fiend is one of the best
Follow the Leader
songs.
I was a fiend. Before I became a teen, I melted microphones instead of cones of ice cream. What?
Yeah, man. You as anybody from up north that's over 35, Rakim is.
If they don't have Rakim in their top five,
they lose their mind over Rakim.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned Rakim, they be like, Rakim, that's.
if he ain't in the top five, then they illegitimate.
A few years ago, I went to this Funk Fest in Orlando, and he opened it up, and half of the people did not know.
That's sad, man.
It was sad. It was sad.
I'd have been there rapping
that it was
every word.
a disrespect of Rakim. Half of the people, they were just coming in, they didn't know who he was.
Oh man,
it was sad.
That'd have made my day.
Yeah.
What you got, B? What you on?
I guess I'm gonna switch it up, but it's a good switch up. So I had a couple of albums that I was going back and forth on, and I was playing and listening to them, and I won't mention them because I may bring them up in the next couple of shows. But I was on Instagram and I was watching a story, and this chick was playing this artist or one song off this album, and I was like, you know what? I've been. This is it. Birthday. This artist's birthday just recently passed in December. She's known as the queen of, what do you call it?
Hip hop soul.
Hip hop R&B. Mary J. Blige.
Which album?
And this is where I'm going. The album is My Life. Her second album.
Dope.
Now
I was finna start singing. I need to.
Wow. Look, there's very few artists that can put out a very good first product. Outkast is one of them. But that follow-up project is like,
What are you gonna do?
what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
This is
How you gonna top it?
this is the best album
Yeah.
that you made. And it takes me to 1994. I'm in middle school.
My graduation.
And no, I'm in high school.
You was in high school.
I'm in high school. I'm sorry. I'm in high school, so around that age you start.
I was a grown man.
Probably wasn't Atlanta chasing money.
Yes.
Hello.
Slow jam.
Going to Freaknik.
Baby, you need a massage.
Probably got a Polaroid camera around somewhere with some pictures from Black Beach Tree.
What?
Too much evidence. You gotta put those away.
But this album for me was, because I got What's the 411. Now, like I said, I told y'all, that's one of the ones Columbia House sent me. So since that first album, and What's the 411, that's 92. I'm in middle school, so, and man, that album was very, it was real good. But this My Life album, I guess it kind of grew up a little bit more.
My Life was right around the time when Casey was doing a dirty.
Right.
Yeah.
And you felt the pain in these
You
songs.
felt that.
Oh, man.
Matter of fact, that was the whole thing with her pen, was that relationship.
Because of KC, sorry ass.
And Diddy sampling his ass off.
Oh, man.
Woo.
Just
So
the
you talk
title
to a
song. The
lot of
title
little
song from that
chicks on the
album.
phone listening to the tape.
Playing in the background.
Yeah. Yeah.
The title song from that album alone, boy.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll break you all the way down.
That title song is dope.
My Life.
You look into my
I
life
love
and
that
see what
sample.
I see.
Right.
Oh,
that was it Michael Ayers or whatever
Roy Ayers.
Roy Ayers with that Roy Ayers sample.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be in the background like my life, my life, my life.
Don't catch me in the car with My Life come on, especially if I'm by myself.
That's when Andre Harrell was on top of the world at Uptown.
Yeah, man.
My favorite song off the album is Can't Live Without You. You Gotta Believe.
Yeah. You can go.
It's hard to pick a bad one.
No, after them first when that skit coming when Puffy said, "Hey, put on something smooth."
Oh.
From then on, that album takes off.
Right.
But then, you know what makes it so even crazier? She came right back with Share My World after
Share
that.
My World?
And Share My World was almost better.
Yeah.
Like,
Almost. It was good.
bro, it was good.
Share My World is number 3.
I love Share My World, dog.
Share My World is good.
Because
I was graduated.
She kick it off so tough with her and Lil Kim.
Right.
Yeah.
Boy, I Can Love You Better Than She Can.
Mary got some hits. I saw her a couple years ago here. Mary got some hits.
A lot.
Yeah.
She don't need to make no more new music if she don't want
No.
She don't.
to. She
I
has
don't
some
want her
hits.
to, honestly, because I still want to live during that time when What's the 411, My Life, and Share My World. I want to live in those three.
That's-
Those
There's
three
nobody
albums.
that can go against her in the verses except for Mariah Carey.
Yeah, she's about it.
That's it.
She's about
and,
it.
And Whitney's gone.
Whitney's gone. I don't
I don't see
get
nobody answering to Mary.
that would be tough. You talking about breaking the internet? Mary and Mariah.
Mariah has more crossover pop hits.
I don't want Mariah though. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
Mariah's
because
for the chief.
Mariah, Mariah became
Mariah's for TV.
street later.
I got it. I got to compare. Mariah is for MTV and Mary is for the box.
That's true.
BET.
The box.
106 The Cut.
Now
The box.
He said the box.
The box.
Well, you got to pay.
This is the OG Sports Show. The box.
The box.
Where your video costs $1.49.
I'm gonna just watch whatever they play because they ain't paying for no
Exactly.
Man, me and one of my me and my cousin one time, he was dating this chick, and we got a credit card one day.
And ran up.
Y'all ran up a bill on some videos.
Called off, man. I ordered Run DMC like 4 times straight. He was like, yeah, and he's calling again.
I love the box because the box was the first place I saw Poison Clan video on the box. So
Yeah, the box had the unique videos that probably didn't even go.
you wasn't
to
gonna
the
see on
video.
BET or MTV.
That was crazy.
So yeah, Mary is the box for me, bro.
Music is beautiful.
Mary
Yeah,
is
man.
like she's one of my favorite.
I'm gonna listen to My Life on the way home now.
You
I'm gonna
need to.
sing all the way. I'm gonna call my wife and sing all the way.
Don't do that to Red, man. Don't do it to her.
I ain't gonna do it to her.
But that's it though, man. So when y'all get a chance, y'all check these albums out.
For sure.
And get some culture in your life, your youngins.
Word.
Learn something new.
For sure. For
All
sure.
right. All right. Now it's time for Who You Got. All right. So last week we only picked 3 games: the national championship game, two NFC playoff games.
Yeah.
So it was a total of 3 games. Pulling up the rear, last episode is Mr. Chuck here himself. He was 1 and 2.
It's all good.
I came in
sweating it.
second place with 2. I got 2 out of 3 right. And this week we got a new champion. Slow here came in at 3-0. He got all the picks right.
The turtle beat the hare.
Turtle beat the hell. He's slow. He finally got here.
Give me that chomp. I get all. So y'all shared the jury last year. I get all the jury.
And the Burger King.
And the Burger King crown.
You definitely looking like King Jaffa.
My son
My
works.
son works.
What's up, brother? You a little late for the Christmas
pageant, ain't you? Who gonna clean up all these rose petals?
This is beautiful. What is that, velvet?
Oh boy! Oh my God! See that we can't get started on this shit because we'll be quoting this damn movie all day
This
long.
episode will be 2 hours.
2 hours long.
So what's our picks this week, bro?
So with that said, well, we get overall standings because it paints a picture.
My bad.
So now tied for second and third, or second place is you two at 10 and 8,
Okay.
and how's it 10? No, 10 8. Yeah, and me sitting over here at 12 and 5. Don't even add up, does it?
They really don't.
13 and 5.
There's some fraudulence going on
13
here.
and 5. It don't
I
matter.
gave himself an extra game.
I'll be
It seemed
12
like
and 6.
it,
You want
man.
me to be 12 and 6?
We made
whatever,
matter to me.
whatever's natural.
So we're gonna pick the championship games here, just the two games, the AFC and the NFC Championship, and we'll go with the Chiefs and the Bills first. And since you got the Pick'em King crown, you can go. You can start us off with your picks and your predictions.
Bow your heads.
Man.
So who you got between the Bills going to Kansas City to play the
City.
Chiefs? That's the late game on Sunday.
I love me some Patrick Mahomes. Love watching him play. Love to watch that offense where we spoke about it earlier. I love to see the offense work. Kansas City is just going to be too much for Buffalo. Buffalo is a very good team. And it won't be a cakewalk. You know, Kansas City might pull away late, but I think Buffalo, I don't think Buffalo can score with Kansas City. But Kansas City's defense is their Achilles heel. They're going to give up something. But Kansas City offense, for every touchdown they give up, they're going to score 2. So I'll go Kansas City.
Kansas City. Chuck, who you got?
It's not. It's. I mean, it's not a. I can't disagree with you, bro. Like, I mean, as much credit as I give Buffalo for what they were able to do this year. First playoff win since what? Jim Kelly? I don't know.
Yeah.
The last time they won a playoff game. So they're gonna be a team to be reckoned with for years to come. They got a young nucleus, but
They own the division now.
unfortunately, Kansas City is also young and just that much better. Like you said, I agree. For every touchdown Buffalo scores, Kansas City is going to score 2. Like I don't even see them punting, this game. So
You going out on a limb with that one?
I'm just saying, bro. I mean, it's just going to be tough to stop. You know what I mean? So I got Kansas City in somewhat of a shootout, but I feel like Kansas City will at least win by double digits.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give y'all a chance to catch up in the overall standings. I'm going with the Bills. It's just something about this team that I feel is special. And like you said, the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs is not that good. And I think over this year specifically, we've seen how the Chiefs can be beat and are vulnerable. So Kansas City, the Bills will need to slow the game down and will really need to keep Patrick Mahomes off the field. Like he was prime Patrick Mahomes, really. But you know how teams used to try to keep Drew Brees off the field?
Right.
That's what Buffalo's gonna have to do to beat the Chiefs, and I think they're gonna do it. And I think they're gonna get them. So I'm going with the Bills on this one.
If the Bills win that game, bro, I'm gonna bow down to you. You can have the crown for the rest of the season.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna give it to you.
Cool. All right, we're gonna see. Next game, we got our Tampa Bay Buccaneers going up to Green Bay to play the Packers of Green Bay. Watch them kick that
The
oblong ball through the big H.
Who's most exhilarating?
Hey, son, stay off
that
drugs.
With that said, Slow, who you got, Bucks or the Packers?
It's going to be a slugfest. Like I said earlier, I don't know, but then y'all made me change my mind a little bit because y'all had some good points. I was saying that the Packers defense is not as good as the Saints defense, and the Bucks still scored 30, but the 4 turnovers helped the Bucks. I don't think they're going to get 4 turnovers this week. The turnovers is the thing that gets them over. Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind this year. I think it's set up for them in Kansas City to be here in Tampa. I'm going to give it to the Packers slightly. It's going to be a good game, but it's just going to be, 20-something degrees up there.
Man.
Aaron Rodgers will challenge the Bucks vertically, and I think they'll have the edge.
Okay, all right, going with the Packers. Chuck?
Me and Slow on the same page this week, bro. I only got 2 words, Devontae Adams. And I don't think the Bucks got an answer for him. Like you said, Aaron Rodgers is playing out of his mind. And he remembers them losing to the Bucks, in the first quarter of the season this year. And he wants some get back, I'm sure. And like you said, it's gonna be 20-something degrees. Yeah, Tom, he's played in the cold, but the rest of them cats, most of them drafted from southern schools and college, they ain't ready for that cold. So I got Green Bay, and not as close as folks would think it to be. I got Green Bay by at least 10.
Green Bay by 10.
Yeah.
Told y'all I was gonna give y'all a chance to catch up, and I'm gonna continue that theme. I'm going for Bucks Bills Super Bowl. Bucks
That's gonna be so ugly.
Bucks be the first team to play in their home stadium.
That's another thing. Do you think if the Bucks, let's say the Bucks make it to the Super Bowl, does the NFL give them the visitors' locker room? You have to. There's no way you
Yeah,
can,
because Buffalo has the better record.
and there's no way you can give them the home locker room in their home stadium. That'd be unfair. It's too comfortable. They got to put them in the visitors' locker room.
No,
They have to.
nah.
They have to.
They do that, then Bucks gonna win the Super Bowl. You gonna make me go in the visitors' locker room with my own shit?
Yeah,
Okay, all right, cool.
that's what's gonna happen. Watch.
The disrespect.
If they make
I feel
it.
you.
They're not gonna make it though.
Okay, well, I think, like I said last week, the Bucks offensive line is playing pretty good. They're definitely running the ball, and all it takes for them is 1 or 2 turnovers, and they change the tide of the game because, like we talked about earlier, Tom Brady's not gonna make mistakes. He's gonna take what you give him and go from there. So I like them to win the game. It'll be a close game. May even come down to a field goal. But I like the Bucks to win this game and to get to the Super Bowl and to justify me working 9 days, 12 hours, getting this money. But I'm going to be home to watch the Super Bowl, though.
I just hope for 2 good games.
Ultimately, I want 2 good games,
Yeah.
but the
I
Bucks,
think we're going to get that.
Yeah.
the Bucks fan in me wants them to win. All right, so we'll see how that goes, and we'll see who comes out on top. Now, off of that, because we don't have that many games, it's gonna go to kind of a segment like we did a couple of shows back. You got to pick 2. You got 2 choices, and you got to pick one. Quarterback edition. These are 2 quarterbacks that in our lifetime we have all seen. 2 quarterbacks that have been categorized or who has been given the crown of best quarterback ever. And that's Joe Montana and that's Tom Brady. Out of those 2, which one is the better, or who is the greatest which one of them is the greatest quarterback of all time? Because we can arguably say these 2 are the greatest QBs that we've ever seen.
Not in my book, but
No.
When you put together stats and winning
If
championships,
we talk about
Okay,
if we talking about championships,
championships and
You take the
stats
championship-
and winning,
absolutely.
right, you got that. but-
sustained success.
right.
If we talk
But-
about championships, yes. We talk about skill set, that's a different conversation.
Okay, so they might not be the most athletic or the most skilled or the best throwers or the hardest throwers or they can throw the
That
longest.
belongs to 13 down in Miami.
Okay, Dan Marino may have been the most skilled quarterback of all time, which is debatable.
It's debatable.
But when we talk about winning,
Yes.
MVPs, championships, stats,
Those
Hall
are,
of Fame,
Those are the 2 we talk about.
these are the 2 that we're talking about.
Okay.
Who you taking, Montana, or you taking Tom Brady? It don't matter. Whichever one y'all want to start it off.
I'll start it off. I'm, like you say, old enough to see both of them. I'm old enough to remember when Montana started.
Me too.
Montana played on a super team. He wasn't asked to do a lot as far as going downfield. They ran the West Coast offense, which is the father of a lot of offenses that we see now. A lot of dinks, dunks, boom. Tom Brady, he did a little bit more. He played on some super teams too.
He's played on some teams that weren't so super too.
No, yeah, he didn't. But the sustain, you got to give it to Brady. Brady got 6 rings. What is it, 6?
You got 6. Joe got what, 5?
4.
4?
That's the thing I think that differentiate.
Get it
That's the
out.
difference between them 2.
Yeah.
God damn.
And
guys.
the era of
like-
football was totally different.
Right.
though,
Joe
in the
Montana
80s.
never lost the Super Bowl.
No.
No.
Tom Brady's lost
But
twice.
Tom Brady played, what, 9, right?
But that's what I'm saying. He played 9
He
and
lost 3.
They dominated an era. 49ers didn't.
49ers
were
dominated.
really good.
They also dominated.
They
But there was
dominated.
some good teams in the 80s. The Redskins were good in the,
The Redskins
80s.
were good.
49ers was good. They didn't completely dominate the 80s like Tom Brady dominated the 2000s.
Right.
True.
So that's why I give it to Brady.
But like I said, it was a different.
different era.
It was a different era and different game at that time.
Right.
So where
Quarterbacks weren't protected when Montana played like they're protected
Not
now.
nearly as much. It's a
Because of Tom Brady.
it's a tough pick for me because, you know,
your hatred for Tom Brady is
not necessarily my hatred for Tom Brady, but just because, you know, I was also a kid watching
Right.
Joe, you know, march down the field in '82 against Cincinnati. You know, so I watched Joe set the Broncos on fire in the Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? I watched Joe leave and go to Kansas City and take that team that wasn't worth a
Right.
damn to the playoffs. So, you know, I was always fond of Joe Montana, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, as a kid, you know, especially in the 80s, you watched Walter Payton and you watched Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Those are the two cats that you really, you know, focused on. You know, Joe did have a hell of a team, you know, between Jerry Rice, John Taylor, Tom Rathman, Brent Jones, Roger Craig. He had a hell of a team. But like I said, Tom Brady played with some really good teams too, especially on defense. Like that defense that they had
his first couple of years.
his first few years, you know, there's a lot of Hall of Famers on that defense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a tough pick for me because as much as I despise Tom Brady, I don't take nothing away from his talent and his, you know what I'm saying, what he was able to accomplish. But, you know, the 70s baby in me wants to take Joe Montana. You know what I'm saying? Just because Joe was just so smooth with it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he had everybody in the world to throw to and to hand off to, but you know, it still takes that general to kind of, you know, hold it together and make it work. Like I said, they was when you talk about I talk about that drive in '82 against Cincinnati, and everybody was, you know, I remember I watched I guess on NFL Films they were talking about it, and you know, Brent Jones, I think, they were talking about how nervous they were, and they were so worried about we were gonna win the game. They were doing a TV timeout, and said Joe was just as cool as calm as can be. He was like, "Hey, look over there, like there's John Candy in the stands." Like Joe didn't have a worry in the world. He knew he was gonna march down and win the game. So I don't know, man. Like I said, the '70s baby in me is gonna go with Joe, just because that's who I grew up on.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I have memories of. I didn't like the 49ers because I couldn't stand them because they was winning. Like I have this thing where I tend to pull for the underdog. That's how I ended up being an Indiana Pacers fan in basketball. But like I wanted Cincinnati to win that Super Bowl, and they ate their ass up.
Yeah.
Even when Steve Young took them and won the championship, I wanted them to lose. I wanted the Chargers to win, but Steve Young ate
That was
their ass
even
up.
uglier.
Right. So, I'm with you. To me, Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback to ever play football in the National Football League, and based on longevity, based on
Wins.
Super Bowl wins, MVPs. Like I want y'all to understand. I'm not on Tom Brady's jock because he's a Bucks. He's with the Buccaneers now. But to see what he did, like the hate for the Patriots was real. Like
It's still real.
It's still real. I don't. To see what he's doing now without Bill Belichick on a team that you come in, like I said last show, you didn't have much of all season, didn't have much of a training camp, and it takes you damn near 15 weeks before the team really starts to gel and to start to gel and y'all understand what y'all want to do and your identity as a football team. So for me, it's Tom Brady. And taking nothing away from Joe Montana, to me that's like the Kobe LeBron debate, or you know, you can't go wrong taking either one.
No.
So for me, it's Brady. Now I'll tell you this: if he takes the Bucks to the Super Bowl and wins the Super Bowl unquestioned, Tom Brady, in my opinion, is the greatest quarterback to ever play.
I still can't give him that title.
You
And it's
can't-
not because of hate.
No, I'm saying, but you can't give him a title for going to a brand new team and in year one taking them and winning the Super Bowl
No, not really.
on top of everything else he's already done.
Not for this team. 'Cause the team is loaded, bro.
Offensively, yes, but the defense still ain't.
Defense, other than pass defense, they're top 5 defense in the league. run.
I mean,
overall,
they're top 5 in stopping the run, but
Yeah.
you still got to stop the pass, and that's
yeah, it's just hard for me to give it to them.
I understand what
Especially
you're saying.
skill. If we talk about championships, absolutely.
This man came to Tampa Bay and is now 1 game away from going to the Super Bowl and being the first team to ever possibly play in their home stadium for a Super Bowl.
Yeah, to me that's pretty similar to LeBron going to Miami and winning the chip with the Heat. I mean, they were set up to do that. You know what I'm saying? The
That's
whole
like LeBron now.
right. I mean, the
They
whole
got
the
they
team
gave
is
him the
loaded,
whole
bro.
team, yeah.
Now, if he'd have stayed in New England and took that team to the AFC Championship game, then yeah, absolutely, we're gonna have that conversation. But to me, he came to a loaded team that they loaded even more when he got here. So I that's just me. I can't put a whole lot of stock in if he does it this year, just because. Duh. I mean,
They paid for it.
yeah.
This is a bought champ. If they win it, this is a bought championship.
Right. So, but that's just my opinion. I could be viewed as a hater, but that's just me.
I mean, ever since they let James go, you kind of been like, ain't no Bucks fan no more.
Well, I think they did my man dirty.
I'm just waiting on when the Saints re-signed him to a 3-year deal and he's named the starter for you to just change your allegiance.
I probably will.
I know you will. Yeah.
But hey, man, I've been to a Saints game and they live, bro.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be that. It wouldn't be that hard for me to switch to be a Saints fan. So, cause they get it in New Orleans, boy.
Dear Tom Brady, bring me another Super Bowl.
Man,
I need to see 2 Super Bowls in my lifetime with my Bucks, man. I already got 2 with the Lightning. Who would ever thought us down here in Tampa would have saw 2 hockey, 2 NHL, 2 Stanley Cups? Nobody would have thought Tampa would have got 2 Stanley Cups.
never.
Should have had 3, but last year they shit the bed
We should have.
and got ousted in the first round.
We should have a World Series too.
We should have a World Series. We should possibly have 2.
Yeah, I can't. I swear I get off the boat.
Man, because y'all couldn't beat us? Because both of them years we ran that division.
Fuck y'all. I mean, we're gonna see about it this year. Like a lot of people say, how you became a Washington fan, and
Because the Bucks were shitty during that time.
exactly. This is what kills me with Buck fans. I say, are you a 1997 fan or are you a Buck fan?
Right.
If you ain't a
Big
fan
difference.
since 76,
76.
or whenever you first started watching football, for me that was Eric Red.
Right.
Not Eric Red, I'm talking about Reggie Cobb.
Before Reggie Cobb, if you wasn't cheering for Wilder running that thing,
See, I really
all
wanted
by his lonesome.
That's 2 years. I mean, this is a 2-year difference.
I got you.
Yeah,
So
so
when I started
young.
got into it, Reggie Cobb was
yeah, Reggie
Right.
Cobb
Mark
was that
Carey.
way.
But that's the
Testaverde.
3 and 13, 2 and
right.
14.
That's the
You
kind
were
of
a
Buck fan I am.
fan then. See, it became cute to be a Buck fan here.
Yeah,
Right. Once they start winning.
Once they started winning, and then
especially now.
yeah, because
It's
I don't
sickening
care.
now.
What, no, they got a real great team this year and everything. But when you hear Tampa Bay Buccaneers, you're synonymous with losing.
Yeah,
So what kills me now is how fans just want to jump in. They want respect and they want people to. You
You know who's worse? You know who's worse than that than football fans? Fucking basketball fans.
Oh yeah, true.
God damn it, I hate LeBron dick riders.
Oh,
but you, yeah, I agree with you. But these fair weather Tampa Bay fans is what it really bugs me because the last few Bucks games that I've gone to, there've been more people there cheering. This is prior to this year, obviously. More people cheering for the other team
Yeah.
than cheering for Bucks. And
Yeah.
those same folks those games I went to that had Dolphins jerseys on and Vikings jerseys on, and the Falcons fans would be ridiculous at Bucks games. Now I have on Tom Brady jerseys.
Yeah.
So that's what killed me about the fan base here. Just like with the Rays.
It's front runners.
The Rays, nobody don't care about the Rays until they start winning and until they get nobody. I've been to games, man, where you can hear the coaches talking.
I mean, I understand that, but you got
I've been to those games,
but you got people like us who are true sport
Yeah,
like because the Rays, they were Devil Rays
right.
and they had that Devil Ray on their hat.
And I would have loved to support them, but they put them in the AL East with the team that I've been a Yankee fan since I was a
the
kid.
team that we as Tampa fans grew up watching because that's all we had.
See,
Right.
hold on. I grew up a Mets fan because I hated the fucking Yankees.
Well, see, but the Yankees was all we had though.
I
But
understand.
I can understand you being a Mets fan because early in the
Dwight
days,
Gooden.
you had
Strawberry.
WR that was on cable that showed all the Mets games.
Yeah.
A lot of people became Cubs and Braves fans because of that.
because of the
But like you
WBN.
said, a lot of people don't remember the Yankees games was broadcasted here in Tampa.
yeah,
Home-
That's how I
it's
became.
spring training home.
But no, I'm saying they used to show
Well,
all
no,
regular season
right, that's
games.
what I'm saying, like-
yeah. So that's why I became a Yankee fan as a kid. So I can't say, oh, well, now Tampa's a team here. I'm going to just jump on. And that's what I see a lot of people now that I know that rooted for different teams coming up when I was a kid. Now y'all big Buck fans.
All of a sudden.
I used to, but, I'm just a home team. No, you just trying to
Just
jump
a
on
front
the
runner.
bandwagon.
Because as soon as they start losing again, you be back off of them.
Oh, that's my second
Wait a
team.
minute.
Like,
So somebody goes 3-0 this week, and they're feeling themselves because
Hey,
they're pretty heated about
that's
this
right,
here,
Hey,
boy.
man.
but no, it's just
Somebody's-
it's just a subject that comes up.
It's touchy.
It does.
It's
It does.
touchy.
come up.
It's a touchy situation for you.
I
I
feel
see.
them, though. I feel them, though.
I mean, you're right. You're right. That's why people. That same reason people ask, "Well, how you a Pacers fan?" I'm like, "We ain't have no basketball team down here.
Right.
We didn't." So who I root for a team that I see that I can identify with. As a former basketball player myself, might not look like it, but I did play basketball in high school. This man can attest to it.
Yeah.
I identified with that team, and I liked how they played, and I liked the players on the team. So that's who I follow, and that's who I still follow to this day. So,
But like the point you made about LeBron, and we'll end it. It's like every team LeBron go to, that's your team.
right,
Yeah.
that shit I can't.
Like,
stand.
come on,
I
man.
can't stand that.
Like, how do you have the energy? Miami, oh, L.A.
Unless, because you could tell the true Miami fans, you could tell the true, they just following LeBron. Because we
Right.
got partners that are Miami fans like Ronnie Cycli, and
Yeah, if you don't know who Ronnie Cycli is, you're not a Miami
you're not a
fan.
Miami fan at all.
If you don't know who Harold Miner is,
You're not a Miami fan.
You're not a Miami
I mean,
fan.
and they could probably go back even further because
yeah.
a couple of them grew up. A couple of my homeboys grew up in South Florida. They Heat fans. So when Dwayne Wade won that first one with Shaq and them boys,
Right.
hey man, congrats. Like I get that, but then they get LeBron, and then LeBron gets traded, and they going wherever LeBron
Wherever
going.
LeBron
Man,
goes,
that-
but
I'm gonna keep it real. I haven't had a basketball team since Jordan retired.
And I'm with you.
See, that's why I feel like we might not be able to get into too much basketball, man. This is a big story because I'm really the only one who kind of keeps up
Keeps
with
up
it.
with it.
I don't really watch games.
I'm gonna refresh my memory.
I don't watch games like early on. Like for me, basketball. My basketball watching starts with the conference, the NCAA, with the conference championship,
Right,
with
yeah.
the conference tournaments.
Yeah.
Once those conference tournaments start, I get into it. I watch Florida State basketball games because that's my favorite basketball
Right.
team, and that's my favorite team. So I keep up with them, and I watch their games.
But watching college basketball, I was watching the game without the fans. Because college basketball is the fans,
Especially when it comes time to those tournaments, it's gonna
just looks
make it a little
weird.
weird.
You have to really be into college basketball. Is one of those things where you have to really be into it to stay into it, even without the fans.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing like one of the best basketball rivalries ever was the North Carolina Duke game.
Right.
Like
And that's gonna look crazy
especially at Duke.
at Duke with nobody in there.
Right.
and Carolina sucking ass.
But we don't got.
Yeah.
We went from Tom Brady and Joe Montana all the way around the world.
That's how we do it. OG.
But those are our picks. We'll end it there. Those are our picks. Let's see if my strategy to go against the grain. Picking King over here said he's gonna come on in and get the crown, and we'll go from there.
All right.
So with that said, Chuck,
We'll get into
who we got.
who's that lady? Who's that lady for this week? I decided this week I wanted to kind of get off the field and try to find somebody kind of behind the scenes. So the young lady that I chose this week is the young lady by the name of Nicole Lynn. Nicole Lynn is an agent. She specifically, focuses on NFL players, but she has a couple softball players as well. So I'm gonna get into Nicole Lynn and exactly who she is. She was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and graduated from University of Oklahoma with a bachelor's degree in business management and a doctorate in law, with honors, by the way. She spent some time on Wall Street as a financial analyst before joining Players Rep as the first female agent to represent the top NFL agency, which is now known as Young Money Sports, bought out by Lil Wayne and those folks down there. So she signed her first client when she was just at the young age of 26. And her client list includes several NFL players, as I stated, including 2 top 10 picks. She also has an ESPY-nominated softball player as well. And she also represents a ballerina who attends the famous American Ballet Theater and a couple other folks
They
as
had
well.
agents.
Exactly.
Me neither.
Wow.
So Nicole Lynn is somebody we wanted to shout out. We want her to know we recognize and see what you're doing. We appreciate you, and we wish you continued success from the OG Sports Show.
Get
We
that
salute
money.
you, give you your flowers while you can still smell them, and keep doing your thing, young lady. We see you out there.
Good looking, Nicole.
That's it, fellas. That wraps up week 6.
Week 6.
Getting ready for the Super Bowl coming up. That's gonna be our next big pick'em
Is
episode.
it? No, not with me.
We picking before that.
I don't know. I told y'all on the 30th. That Saturday is when I start my.
Oh wow.
That Saturday, towards Saturday morning,
So we
until the
have
day of the Super Bowl.
I feel you. We're going to have to get it in now. Figure out a way we get the Super Bowl pick in. So we'll figure it out.
Skype from work, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
We'll figure
yeah.
something
But for
out.
like I said, once again, we appreciate y'all for rejoining us. For those who are returning, love y'all. Brand new, welcome once again, and we out. That's it. Be easy.